Hello Lovebirds, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, in today's video, I don't have a very specific plan. I just have a backdrop, I have an outfit, and I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with it. So, this is how I usually record my IGTV videos or my Reels videos. There's not much of a plan beforehand. And this is actually my happy space. So, I just have a sit down, I grab the products that I really liked from the previous weeks in certain PR boxes and everything, and that I really want to try out, and I just have a sit down and just get to work. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I really hope you'll enjoy it. Outfit is by House of CB. Earrings are by Kalak, if I pronounce that correctly. Hello, this is me from the future. Sorry to barge on in, but I have decided that one, we have some very exciting news that I'll tell you at the end. Two, I am allocating all of the revenue from this video to a good cause, so I would appreciate it very much if you would just let the video run with the ad breaks on. So, more information on that is in the bio, but for now, enjoy. So let's get to work. First up, I'm going to be using a little bit of the Chatelier Eye Lift, and I've been using this eye cream for a while now, and I really like it. So you don't need much, but I do like much because my skin is quite dry. So usually whatever is left, I'll apply on smile lines because fine lines are forming. Then this past week, I filmed for One Size, and I was so proud and pleased that I was able to do that, and I used this primer for the first time. So I'll be using that as well. Secure the blur. Secure the blur. It has to be in some kind of a American accent, because in a British accent it just doesn't work. It's secure the blur. Do you see that? Says enough, right? Now, one thing that I know for absolute sure is that I want radiant skin today. So I'm going in with a new foundation by Nabla Cosmetics, which is incredible. This is the Skin Realist, and this is one of those foundations that has surprised me over the past weeks. I mean, a lot of brands have been coming out with really beautiful dewy foundations, medium coverage dewy foundations, but this has risen above, and I'll show you why. I'll just grab onto a buffing brush and I'll use probably around 2 pumps of foundation all over the face. Now, one of the things that I first noticed when using this foundation is that it has some kind of film forming effect, which is absolutely fantastic because it kind of smooths over any texture on your skin and just gives you that really glass-like dewy look. Plus it's building, so that means whenever you've got any areas that you would like some more coverage, just an extra layer. Then, just to make sure that the texture is right in every area, I'll go in with this little sponge by Juno Co, which is one of those velvety kind of sponges, and it kind of has the same effect as when I do my concealer with a little brush. Because the hairs are able to penetrate into the pores, it just gives that really super flawless application, which I like. I'm going to give this a little bit of time to set onto the skin, so I'm going to record a little part of my reels and then I'll be right back. Now that that's done, let's continue with concealer. So I'm going in with NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I'm going to be using Cannelle to color correct here and there, and then I'll be going in with either Chantilly or Vanilla. So I usually just go in with a darker shade because the blue undertones underneath my eyes are just, you know, a thing. Plus, I really like a matte complexion in the T-zone because it just makes everything look a little bit more flawless. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to mess up that beautiful glow that the Nabla Cosmetics foundation has left behind. But under eyes, they're first in line. To be honest, Cannelle is actually quite a good match for me at the moment. I went a little darker with my foundation, so I think I should also be a little darker with my concealer, just in case. Yeah, let's just grab a little bit of vanilla as well so I can highlight certain areas like the deepest ridges of my under eyes. And that just really helps them optically move forward, so can't go without that. So now that foundation and concealer is done, we're going in with blush. And I'm going to be using the Hourglass Vanish Blush Stick. Now this is the color Devoted, and I'm just going to be applying that high on the cheekbone. And I'm going to grab that same buffing brush with a little bit of leftover foundation just to buff that into my cheeks. There we are. Now I am going to go in with a little bit of contouring, but I think I'm just going to stick to the nose area and just leave it at that. And the Fenty Emma Matchsticks is absolutely a favorite for that. It's just the right ash tone to get a really good contour. Now I've got this incredibly newfound love for a specific powder that I didn't know I had before, so it's not even a new product. It is in a new little packaging. Here it is. Okay, so Huda Beauty has released Baby Cake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. They've released it in a mini, and funnily enough, I had this before, but not in the right shade. That's been made clear to me now. It wasn't in the right shade. So I've got Pound Cake now. I'm just going to use it to set the under eye area and the entire T-zone, to be honest. So it comes with this wonderful little mini puff. I'm going to start at the point where I usually have the deepest indentation and then work my way out from there. Going to use the edge here to do the eye contour and then bring it down along the smile lines. Look at that flawlessness. That's insane. I mean, I still have that beautiful radiance from the foundation on the cheekbones, but I don't have those foul indentations on my under eye. Dab that all over the forehead. There you have it, all done. Look how good. Look how flawless. All right, lovelies, time for brows. We need brows and we need a little framing in this face. So I'm going in with the One Size Brow Kiki in the color Black Brown, which is a dead match for my ashy brows. So let's hop on in. I like to brush down my brow hairs and then fill in the top before I fill in the bottom. Done. So one thing I like to do with my brow pencils as well is fill in that little bald patch right here. So to set the whole thing together, I'm going in with the Brow Kiki Clear Nourishing Brow Gel, and this has been used for the past week since I got it. All right, then now I'm going in with water activated paints. I love water activated paints, and I wanted to do something with this pattern. I wanted to do something with the color combinations. I also really went in with my nails to make sure that they would match the dress. And I'm going to be using quite a few different liners. So my favorite water activated Hydra liners are by first Suva, then with Glisten, the ones I love are the split liners, for example, and the wet liners. They've got some really great nude colors. And then I've got Sheen, and Sheen is making palettes now as well. So these are just some of the brands that I really enjoy with applying aqua-based hydro liner. So what I'm going to be doing is working my way from lightest to darkest. So some of the brushes that I've been really loving recently is the one from the Katie Jane Hughes collection, which is absolutely fantastic. Has a really sharp tip, so you can go either thick or really thin. Then I've also always got the little brushes that I buy at an art supply store, and Sheen has sent me some of their incredible liner brushes. So I'm going to start at the inner corner of the eye, and I'm going to go in with the wet liner by Glisten in the color Dusty. So I just spritz a spray just straight into the little jar, and I'll mix my little concoction. Again, I'm not even sure what I'm going to be doing yet, but I'm sure about the color palette. And sometimes when your eyeliner seems to skip over the skin a little bit, try to make the concoction a little bit more wet so that it will glide over the skin a lot easier. And to make sure that you've got all of the details right, this is your friend. So this is the Ricky Loves Ricky Superfine. So this magnifies about 7 times. So you can really look at all of the details, make sure that everything is razor sharp. And that, I think, is the secret to getting really good graphic eyeliner looks. Okay, so I've not been majorly precise with the dusty color. But now I'm going to go in with Orchid. I'm going to draw over where I feel like it needs a little overlap and extending the shape. There's just one thing that is kind of a recurring theme for me, is that I'd rather apply my makeup right once, and I'd rather not go in with Q-tips unless I really, really need to. So I'm just trying to be very precise and very calm in this process. Honestly, for me, it's just ultimate playtime, this. Can't meditate for but I can do makeup. On to the next shade. I'm in Dubio. Twilight by Sheen. Also got Luster Lilac. I'm gonna go for Luster Lilac by Suva. So in most cases, I just let the brush kind of guide me to where it wants to go. So I'm using different shapes and sizes for each of the applications. I'm gonna go into the center, and I'm just not going to apply it all the way to the top. I think that could be fun. Plus, shimmery things on the moving lid always makes for a more three-dimensional kind of thing. Okay, I've changed my mind. I will be going in with the color Twilight by Sheen, just because I think it will make it a little bit more exciting. Just gonna make sure I trace the outline of the Luster Lilac first. Also because it just gives a major contrast compared to the two lilac shades, which seem to blend into each other. I wish it was a little bit more distinct, but perhaps we can fix that with glitter later on. There we are now. We are continuing with more of the nude and brownish kind of shades. So let's continue with the split liner in Tortoiseshell. Colors are amazing. Difficult to pronounce, but colors are amazing. Now, this is also going to be a major contrast between that little purple that we've just applied and now something like a bright orange. So I don't think I'm going to do the entire part of that outer corner, because then I think it will give me a weird looking eye. So I'm just going to be focusing on the top part of this. Now, sometimes mistakes happen and the only thing you just have to think about, well, it's not a straight line anyway, so let's just fix the other side to match. I always start to like my looks more and more the further I progress. So now I'm going in with the dark brown side of this split liner and doing the bottom part of this look. Last liner I'm going to be using is the wet liner by Glisten in the color Coffee Cup, and that is what I'll be using to kind of wing it out. This is a lot lighter than I have been expecting. Could be fun though. Looks more like a mocha cup instead of a coffee cup. Oh, I'm loving it. Now it's time for mascara. Quickly going to curl my lashes. I love the Laura Mercier eyelash curler, mostly for this. And I just curl it in stages so that every inch of this lash is curled. Mascara. I'm going to go for the Bad Gal Bang by Benefit because it suits my purposes today just fine. Just going to zigzag at the bottom, at the base of the lash, and then flick it outwards. Now, I have adopted a new thing into my lash routine, and that is combing my lashes in between the first and the second layer. And that just makes sure that everything stays ultra fluffy, and it just makes for a way better lash application. Then I'm going to go in with this little comb. This one is by Makeup Revolution, and it is great for lash combing. I'll just have to be careful that I don't mess up the liner look. Best of all, you can also shape your lashes much better like this, because usually I do it with the mascara wand and I try to push the lashes into the right direction, but that also means that I'm applying more and more mascara over and over and over again, and I don't always want an extra layer of mascara. I just want to push it into the right direction, if you catch my drift. So before I finish off with my lower lashes, I'm going to go in with the Inner Light Baton by Surratt Beauty, and this is just gorgeous because I do love a light waterline just to open up the eyes, but I hate it when it's super, super white, and this one just looks a little bit more like a skin tone. Now on the other end of this baton is a little shimmer shadow, and I'm going to be applying that all over that little inner corner, right on top of that beautiful liquid liner there, so that we have a slight reflection and a little bit more depth in that inner corner. I don't want my lower lashes to appear too long. I just want to have that black on the base, so I kind of tap the mascara onto the base of that lash, just to give it the thickness, the fullness, but not the length. Now let's hop on in with lips. I've got two choices on my table. I've got, on the one hand, Makeup by Mario Pro Volume Lip Gloss, which would suit the look quite well. And on the other hand, I've got the Hourglass Velvet Story in the color Luxe. gonna do both. So this has to be one of the most comfortable lipsticks I've used in a while. And let me show you why. Do you see that glide? It's so comfortable. And it definitely feels like velvet. Now, I don't want to overdo it with this lip shade, so let me grab onto a little buffing brush. A little volume in those corners. Then the Makeup by Mario Pro Volume Lip Gloss in Mauve Nude. Pretty. Okay, the one thing I'm definitely missing on this face is a little bit of highlighter. So, let me see what I have. Yeah, sorry, I've got my favorite. I've got my favorites. The Dior Backstage Glow Face palette is just one of my absolute, but I mean absolute favorite highlighters ever. I'm just gonna go for gold because I think it merges on my skin tone very, very well. I'm gonna intensify on the highest point, a little bit on the schnoz, bravo. And you know what? Also on the ears. We're accessorizing. Then I've got a little trick with this highlighter palette is I'll just grab onto a tiny blending brush and I'll go into that lightest shade and then I'll just tap that in the middle of that gold because it'll give it a focal point and it will pop out. And I think that's that. The end of the video. See, I have this tendency to overcomplicate filming for YouTube because I get nervous. I feel like there needs to be a message behind it. I feel like it needs to be instructive enough, and thus I put a lot of pressure on my own shoulders to make every video as good as it could be. But in all honesty, I feel like sometimes my strength is in just being creative. So that's why I just had to sit down today and I very much enjoyed it. Now, I have some very important news. So my boyfriend and I have become doggy parents, and to celebrate this I wanted to do something good for the animals. So I got an email back in April from a rescue center in Costa Rica asking if I could maybe help them out with spreading a little bit of awareness about their rescue center, because since this crisis, this health crisis, a lot of dogs have been dumped on their doorstep. So I'm not asking you to donate anything. I'm just going to allocate all the revenue from this video to that animal shelter in Costa Rica. So if you have the time, if you're gonna go to the toilet for a very long time, maybe just leave your video playing or this video playing for another time with the ads on, just so that we can up the revenue a little bit, and then all of the money will go to the animal shelter in Costa Rica. I'll also put all of their contact information down below. If you want to do anything extra to help out, you're welcome to take a peek. If you're looking to adopt anyone, take a peek over there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time in 2 weeks probably. But thank you very, very much. Also, if you want to meet my dogs, go to my Instagram.